Today I want to talk to you about being flexible. Not kind of like, bending over and touching your toes, which at my age is a little difficult to do. But it's also difficult at my age to be flexible in your habits and the things that you do. So, this van is an exercise, just like trying to touch your toes every day is an exercise. This van is an exercise in being flexible. We could have opted for the same amount of money to get a really comfortable, really nice Class A diesel pusher. And it would have been easier. We could roll up to a campground, hook up to electricity and water, and we would have every comfort that we have at home. But you know what? That's not going to stretch us and make us be more flexible. What's going to make us be more flexible is doing what we're doing right now. Getting by with less, going off-road more than we used to, not being afraid of getting stuck, and exercising to stay flexible, both with this old body and with how we use this van. Let me show you how we set it up for this trip. Many of you have asked us how we're going to pack the van and is it going to be big enough? Well, I think we've come up with a pretty ingenious way to do this. One of the things we have to worry about is packing our clothes and then being able to get to them. And we thought we were going to miss those overhead cabinets in the Travado. But look at what we've done. Right now we want to get the GLSS system, but they're so backlogged that we can't get it in time. So we found these ottomans, a 45-inch and a 30-inch ottoman that will fit perfectly in here. And inside of here, we found little plastic bins that will keep them from separating. And then we're able to pack lots of things in here. This area has everything that I need when we pull up to the campsite in order to get ready to connect to water or anything else we need. This area, this is where we keep our clothes. We put these little tags on top of this so we can tell what's in each bag. And then as you need it, it's just right there and ready to grab and change clothes. And this area back here is probably where we're going to stand to change clothes anyway. And these little L seats, it's a really good way to set it up. Let me show you why. Because we can sit back here comfortably. Two of us can sit on this 45-inch one, and we've got a place to put our feet up over here, and our knees don't hit each other because we're sitting across from each other. It's really neat. We thought we were going to be cramped for space, but to be honest, we've got plenty more. We probably have only used 60% of the space that we've created with this L, and by using the overcab storage as well. Our bathroom setup is really simple. One of the things we did a little different because we noticed it was really difficult to use, we actually put the shower curtain where the crapper paper is supposed to go, and we put 2 rolls of toilet paper in here. It stays dry. And then we have our shower dispenser for soap and other things up here. We learned a long time ago in our little 15-foot retro camper that if you can keep from putting things in a place that you use a lot and you don't have to move it around, you're going to be happier. So I'd rather take less and not put anything in this bathroom, be able to go in and use the restroom for what it was intended for, be able to take a shower without having to move anything, and then we're just happier. Until we run out of space, that's the plan. So there you have it. That's how we have the van set up. We're pretty excited right now. We're getting ready to roll out of our driveway on a longer trip.
So, I don't hear any rattles.
Me either, sweetheart.
You did good.
I think we got rid of the rattles and very little road noise at this point with the tires that we have on. We're pretty happy. And we're heading up to the Linville Gorge area between Asheville and Marion and Morganton. We're going to stay in a spot that we found on iOverlander. If you're not familiar with that, iOverlander is an app that a lot of folks use to find wild camping spots. This one says that you need to have 4-wheel drive to get to it. We have 4-wheel drive. We're not going to overdo it on this first night of wild camping with the van, but we're looking forward to getting off the beaten path, way off the beaten path tonight.
Here we go.
notice as we've come further and further up the mountains, roads are getting more and more narrow. And we have 6 miles left to go, but the estimate is it's going to take us 19 minutes to go that 6 miles. So I'm thinking the last 3 or 4 miles is going to be what we bought the van for. Excited, nervous, happy, all those emotions all at one time. So one of the reasons we love the van already is we may have been able to come up here with the Travado, but we would have been worried. But we're not in the van. This thing it's made for this, and look at the view where we are. We didn't lose anything.
How do you know?
Didn't sound like we did.
Can you tell Owen's excited?
She's a beast.
She is. We gotta name her. Name
She's
your
a
beast.
beast. So we made it to the spot that we had mapped out, but along the way we passed several that may be better. But to let you know what better may look like, look around us. This is fantastic. Brown Mountain lights, which are kind of spooky, they're over this direction. We'll be able to see Hawksbill and other mountains here. And I'm not sure how long we're going to stay, but this is perfect. We're going to walk now and see if we can figure out a better spot. We're up on a little national forest road. Let me show you what the campsite looks like. Keep in mind, this isn't luxury, but you couldn't pay for this kind of luxury. Look at this. Van's pretty level, away from trees, little clearing, big fire ring. Off in that distance is Table Rock. And then we have a little trail we can go on back here. Yep, I'm happy. What's for dinner tonight, Mother?
Ham that I cooked at home.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Sliders and deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs.
We are not cooking tonight, but we are eating in our van.
You know, I talk about my grandfather a lot, and one of the things that he told me, and I think I may have told you guys this before, is that if you could ever find you a woman that would get naked and make deviled eggs, you'd be a happy man. I'm a happy man.
It's kind of weird.
So one of the things we didn't list when we said there were great things about the Revel that we really loved, this table out here. Pull up, get level, or as level as you can try to get, and then just drop the table, and then look at this. We have our chairs set up out here. The table is there. We're ready to eat. We didn't have to set anything else up. And then we have the awning lights on. And over that way, Pisgah National Forest and the mountains of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Over this way, Table Rock. Basically, all you see is just a finger.
You're an idiot. Basically, all you see is a finger. It's dark outside. You can't see anything.
It's dark, it's light, it's dark, it's light.
It's dark.
I didn't cook this, but I'm doing a happy dance. This is awesome. This is so awesome. It's so quiet out here. I feel like I need to whisper. It's just peaceful and quiet. Absolutely perfect. What a way to start our adventure with our revel.
What are you guys doing out here?
We're just snuggling.
Snuggling.
Yeah.
You snuggling, Maggie?
We just finished eating dinner, now we're snuggling. She's really keeping me warm.
I bet. It is a little chilly out, isn't it?
It is. It's a little chilly. So here's an example of what you shouldn't do with a fire pit out in a wild campsite. I'm going to see if I can at least clean some of this up for the next camper. Okay, that's better. Whoever camps here next time will appreciate that, I think. Good morning. We woke up this morning. It's not raining. It is a little foggy, but it's beautiful. We're sitting around drinking coffee and doing little errands. And as you saw, I cleaned up a little fire pit here because that's just crazy. One of the reasons things are getting closed down so much is so many people are out camping now that normally would be doing other things. And maybe it's just that they don't know the etiquette, or maybe it's just that they don't care. But there's certain things you do, there's certain things you don't do. One of the things you don't do is just rip down a rhododendron tree or rhododendron bush and try to burn it. First of all, it's a protected species and it's beautiful. Why would you do that? Second, it's got leaves on it. If you know anything about burning, if it's got leaves and buds, it's green. It's not going to burn anyway. And so you're just killing something that's beautiful that's not going to help you stay warm anyway. Anyway, maybe these guys will learn as they get more and more experience, or maybe they'll get worse. But we've got to learn to take care of things like this, or more and more campgrounds and spots like this are going to close because they're just trashed. And the government and the agencies that take care of this don't have the money to come behind us and clean up. So leave it better than you found it and take out what you brought in and a little bit more. Made it just a little ways. We're going to stop and take a hike down to Wiseman's View. Pretty cloudy. Not sure we're going to be able to see anything, but we're going to go. Actually, the clouds are starting to roll off, so maybe we'll be able to see something. Awesome.
We walked down the handicap accessible trail over to the overlooks, and there are several overlooks you can get to with the handicap, but you can walk out on the cliffs a little bit, but you need to be careful, especially when the rocks are wet.
It's a little slippery.
But we have a beautiful view of Linville Gorge. This is Wiseman's View. It was named after James Wiseman or Mr. Wiseman?
Uncle Wiseman.
Uncle Wiseman, because this is one of his favorite places to come and camp. And I can see why.
I can too. That's the Linville River below us, and we'll show you that. And you can hear it from here. It's rushing by.
Yeah.
On the East Coast, I would bet there aren't too many places that are as wild as this wilderness area. I can remember in high school, I lived not far from here, and there were tales then of all the time of hikers that would come up here and their bodies would be found later because it's easy to get into this wilderness area and just get completely lost and turned around. So on the East Coast, we feel pretty fortunate that this is actually pretty close to our home. So we'll come back here for sure.
Yeah.
What a great little place for us to come for the very first trip in our Revel. Forest road. Look at this
Little mud hole right here.
This is a mud hole here, Mom. We woke up this morning, a little breakfast. We've had a little short hike. Now we're just riding on the Forest Service road here around Linville Gorge and seeing what's here. Lots of bumpy little trails, and we're getting to try out the Revel for sure.
It is bumpy. Whoa. Let's hope it don't spread it.
About to get our first trail strike.
Oh, I didn't hear anything. Maggie likes it. Don't you, Maggie? We're on a road that's known as Old NC 105. It is a forest road. Our Overlander shows a lot of pull-offs and campsites on this road, but there's so many more than what our Overlander is showing. So if you want to do some free camping, this is a good road to do it on.
So the first leg of our first big Revel trip for us is behind us. Was it the most epic? Nah, not at all. But for the East Coast, it was pretty awesome. And we're really glad that you stuck with us and rode the entire trail. Next Sunday, we'll share with you the second leg of this journey where we took the Revel up a really muddy and bumpy road up to the Blue Ridge Parkway, which happened to be covered in fog. We drove it into Asheville, and with the lack of any other place to stay, we stayed at, well, come back next week and you'll find out. And we'd like to say thank you to all of you guys that are new to this channel. We've gained a lot of subscribers and viewers and interest since we switched from our Travado down to the Revel. But Lynn and I really appreciate those of you who have been part of this journey since the very first mile. If you're not aware, and this is your first time watching us, we downsized from a 44-foot fifth wheel down to a 21-foot Travado. And we took that Travado all over North America, but then we wanted another challenge, so the Revel. If you've enjoyed the content today, we hope you'll think about subscribing. For some of you that are interested in the Revel, we realize we're old enough to be your mom and dad. We're okay with that if you are. We're not going to be as epic in what we see and do as someone that's half of our age, but we're going to do the most we can so we can stretch and be nimble and be flexible. Thanks for being part of this journey, Van Trekking Lifestyle.